students, so as you'll see my background has changed. This is because I'm officially back at university and this week has been crazy. It is Freshers Week and I'm literally burning the candle at both ends, so I apologise if my next video I'm just like, tonight I've taken the night off to sit down and film for you guys because honestly it's 10 o'clock now and I'm ready for bed. I am done with this Freshers stuff. I'm just a little old lady and I want to get my cup of tea and get my book and just sit in bed. So that is exactly what I'm going to do after filming this video. But earlier on in the week I was sat drafting video ideas and I was like, what can I talk about? Because I kind of want to talk about starting university because it is that time, but I kind of feel like I've covered, you know, the main points of Freshers. And then I was thinking about how scary starting university is socially. For me personally, coming to university has helped my self-confidence to no end. Now that's not to say I wasn't self-confident before I came to university. I was very self-confident, I just wasn't socially confident. I was dead quiet. I literally wouldn't even put my hand up in class in case I got the answer wrong. I was so incredibly introverted, and since coming to university my personality has like exploded and it's allowed me to do all of this fun stuff that I do now, like filming this video for you. Saying that, I didn't actually join a society or a sports team, and I never have, and I'm in my third year of university and I don't intend to, just because my life is so incredibly crazy hectic with all the other stuff that's going on. I literally don't think I would have time. But if you see one that, you know, spikes your interest, I definitely recommend joining. A lot of people just join a society in the first few weeks just to meet people with similar interests to them, which is a great way of making new friends. Now my first tip is to be yourself, which I know is such a cliche bit of advice, but I can't recommend it more. Being yourself, you know, it attracts like-minded people, and even if it doesn't attract like-minded people, I find the best discussions come from people who have completely and utterly different attitudes to your own. In my household, we actually had a whole debate about if women, you know, happened to rule the world and all the men suddenly ceased to exist, what would happen, and this went on for days. It was like an afternoon-long discussion that just kind of spanned on. It was amazing. So I do find coming to university kind of sparks those kind of debates, maybe more seriously, but hey ho, that's what we were discussing. And then the top tip of advice is to be patient with your neighbour. Now going from like a family household to a university hall is absolutely daunting, and yes, some of you may have noisy neighbours. I am probably being a noisy neighbour right now to the lovely person next door, as it is about 10 o'clock at night and I'm currently sat filming a video. But it's okay because I've been hearing him playing his music all afternoon. So you kind of have to make those compromises in that, if they do something, am I maybe being annoying? Am I maybe, we're filming this video at 10 o'clock, maybe jeopardising his sleep pattern? Sorry. But yeah, being nice to your neighbour is a really good way of, one, making friends, and two, just kind of keeping the peace. If you get frustrated every time they have their TV on at 3 o'clock in the morning, or if they happen to stumble in the door and you're sleeping, you kind of have to forgive them for that because that is university life. That's what happens, and I know it interrupts your sleep. I personally cannot speak enough. I love my sleep, but being patient with your neighbour is a great way to make friends, keep the peace, and just generally enjoy university life. The other thing I want to talk about socially is peer pressure. Now, this can stem from everybody yelling down at Fresher and down in your drink to a lot more kind of disturbing habits, which we won't go into. But peer pressure is something that it can be a good thing, honestly. Peer pressure is always stigmatized as like this really horrible bad thing that encourages smoking and drugs and all of that kind of stuff. But some of the best nights I've been out on, I've been peer pressured into. It's been a case of, oh come on, you know you want to, and I'm like, actually I kind of do want to. So a little bit of peer pressure, provided it's positive peer pressure, is always good. It's when you feel threatened or you don't feel very, you know, comfortable in the situation that it becomes a problem. Alternatively, the negative kind of peer pressure involves kind of hazing activities and excessive drinking in that you don't want to do it. If you want to do it, by all means, but if you don't, you really need to kind of sit there and be like, whoa guys, come on now, really? The last thing I want to talk about is how you're always going to meet people you don't like. It is a fact of life. You can pretty much go anywhere on the planet, to any office, to any job, to any university, and you may run into somebody who you just never get on with. Maybe you've got a personality clash, or maybe you just don't strike it up from day one, but it happens. And when I came to university, I literally would sit there in my room thinking, oh my god, you know, they don't like me, is it my fault? And honestly, probably not. You're just bound to meet these kind of people, and you just kind of have to take it in your stride that maybe you're different, maybe, you know, you can go and make other friends who will like you for who you are, and you just kind of have to accept that. I'm such a people-pleasing person, and for me that was so difficult when I came to university. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm sorry it was heavy on the advice, but those are the tips that socially made me feel so much better in my first year at university, and they really made me come out of my shell. If you check out the links below, we have a link to the Studentpad blog and the Studentpad website where you can get your very own student accommodation, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye. I can literally hear my neighbours talking about me right now. they probably think I'm insane.